guys for showing up on time. Thank you guys for showing up. And if you guys haven't figured this out from all the marketing, we were super excited about having you guys here. This is our very first time that we're getting together in person, other than the Christmas party, so it's kind of a big deal. And we usually do these around 4 times a year, and we have not been able to for almost 2 years. I want to say hello to a couple of people. First of all, if you guys have not met Zarina, Zarina is Bobby's better. And he's going to help later on, right? We're going to do a raffle. So guys, I'm going to be here now. We're going to do a raffle. So later on, I'm going to be giving everybody a ticket. Look at it. Don't. Which I'm figuring out. Bobby is buying a ticket to the Thomas event. If you don't know how look up, it's worth a lot of money. Please sit down right there next to Carolina. Carolina is one of my dearest friends, and Natalia is one of my oldest friends. Not in age, in years. So I'm going to be giving everyone a ticket. I want to thank everybody who is not a London Foster agent, but you can just raise your hand. And for anyone here who is not, come on, raise your hand. Hi, there we go. 3, 4. Okay, that's awesome. The very first raffle is only going to be for you guys. So that's exciting. You guys, only the people that aren't in London Foster, you're going to be one little raffle. And you're going to come up here, we're going to do a little raffle for you. And then we're going to ask you who brought you, who was the one that invited you. And those people are going to be in the second round. So after that, we're going to open it up to everybody. Okay? So the idea is to have fun, guys, pay attention, stay focused on this. We're working on sound. Mina, today is Mina's birthday. So Mina, we will be singing you happy birthday. That's commitment. When you have a birthday, if it was my birthday, that is huge commitment. We appreciate faces. Is anyone here who just joined the last 6 months? 6, 7, 8, 9. Awesome. That's what this is about, guys. Some of the new, some of the that are here. This is a social. I think now. So, we're starting your orders now. The idea is that you guys order your food as soon as Dragan finishes. Later on, we'll talk about the prizes and the tickets. I want to make sure that everybody is paying attention to the personal and to Bobby. I think I said this to you guys. Really a big most companies don't go a lot of organizing events. So Bobby is very generous when it comes to easy terms. Right? I wanted to there's a system either you're accepted or you have blocked at one point the service, but you really need to fix that. That we are in communication. Licenses expire. Anyone's license expired ever? Anyone's license didn't do their continuing education? It's a big deal. Happened to me. That's fine. I had to do it all in a week, and I would call them crying. I'd be like, I am not too old for this. You guys really need to be in communication with us, so we'll most definitely fix that. Another thing I want to remind you guys is all of our trainings are recorded. You see all this equipment everywhere. The reason why we record it, I'm trying to get the camera too. The reason why we record it, guys, is for you. It's for those of you that are going to be here and then you say, wow, I saw or heard something there that I want to repeat, that I want to remember, that we keep it for you. We also keep it for those of you that aren't here. The ones that are too busy or forgot or didn't get the email or whatever it is. So it's there forever. If you've ever visited, has anyone ever gone navigating into London foster education? Guys, there's a lot of videos there. And it takes a lot of effort, a lot of money, a lot of systems, a lot of editing. And so before I'm going to introduce Dr. I want to introduce Miles real quick. Miles is our new marketing manager. Has everybody met Miles? No? This is Miles Bumper. Miles is our new marketing manager. He is the guy that's behind the scenes, the one that's doing all the advertising, editing, and everything else. He's also there as a reference for you guys. So most definitely, when this is over, and you have a chance to make sure that you want to take the orders? Okay. Yeah. No, without Bobby and I are doing it, okay. No, I don't need. Guys, without further ado, without further ado, I want to introduce you guys to Bobby Online. If you don't know who it is, he's the one that spearheads these events. He's the one that pays for it. He's the one that's paying for the raffle. So definitely when you get a chance, make sure you leave your make sure that because they are numbered in the back, and those 7 people are going to be okay. All right, guys.
Do it the right way. Okay, can everyone hear me? Can you hear me well? I want to thank everyone for coming out. We have a big treat for you today. We have a lot of prizes that we're going to be giving out. We also have a free ticket to go see Tony Robbins live at UPW that we do every year. And we have some delicious lunch on the way thanks to the break. I want to say thank you to the people that helped put this together. Guys, if you could please put your hands together for the middle of our word. Everything we do. He's like the glue that puts everything together. He really helps us make things happen. And he does his very best over his seat. I also want to thank Miles. We also have a new member of the team. I just wanted to acknowledge him. His name is John Sullivan. John Sullivan is here. And welcome to the family. I appreciate you. Training to help you excel in your real estate career, help you increase your sales, help you increase your business. And I got to tell you that these trainings are not for everyone. You know, a lot of us are still in our comfort zone. A lot of us are comfortable being in our comfort zone. And I have to tell you that if you're comfortable with still being in your comfort zone, then by all means you can stay at home and continue to run your business, your real estate career, in your pajamas, at home, being comfortable. But if you want to make an impact, if you want to make a difference, if you want to be more successful, you got to get out there into your, you got to be in your customer spaces. You got to go out there and show up to those brokers, show up to those open houses, show up to training events like this. And when you do, 90% of your success is just showing up. You know, showing up for those super classes, showing up behind your desk for that marketing campaign that you want to start. And of course, showing up for your business. You know, the market's changing. I'm sure everyone knows that. The market is changing. It's getting a little bit more difficult. And you know, when the market changes, a lot of us like to follow people online and see what they're doing. You know, we like to see what other successful people do in the market. We have challenges right now. You know, are they slowing down? Are they quitting? Are they taking a break? You know? And to our surprise, how successful was.
Miles,
sorry, we're not progressing company, we're real estate office, we're doing our best. This is all our research. So, and, you know, we like to follow a lot of successful people out there. And when we follow them, I just want to we like to follow a lot of other successful people out there. And when we follow them, you know, to our surprise, during these hard times, like we did in the pandemic, we like to see, are they slowing down? And to our surprise, we find out that not only are they not slowing down, but they're doubling down. They're putting more emphasis into their business. They're putting more investments into themselves, into their marketing. They're posting more. They're going out there, putting more out there. And we actually see this in real time. When we're looking on social media, we see that they're becoming more successful. We see that they're making more money. And why is that? That begs the question, why and how are they making more money in markets that change? And it's because opportunity, they take advantage of the opportunities that only show themselves during difficult times. You know, think about that. They take advantage of the opportunities that only tough times can produce. And unfortunately, some of us haven't seen those opportunities, you know. So when the market changes, it actually gets me excited. As opposed to getting upset, it should get you excited because there's so many opportunities out there. You know, especially now with the market changing, there's going to be more listings. A lot of people are going to be wanting to sell. And I can tell you a couple of things are going to happen right off the bat. First, it's going to get rid of all those half-ass agents out there that give us a bad name. And it's going to allow us to be able to capture that market. You know? Just BSing. I have the history. Always be. I have that with Dragan to help us with it. So, before I introduce Dragan, I'm going to encourage a couple of people. I want to acknowledge Christine Peterson. I think she I also want to acknowledge Jenny is the house. So is she here? Well, I gotta tell you, she's got an $18 million deal in the contract with $1 million in escrow. So that's amazing. So we have. Oh, I got some other news. This is something that we all should be proud of. Okay. London Foster just made the Inc. 5000 of the fastest growing companies in America for the 3rd year in a row. leaders, and we really work hard to show ourselves organically and to show our support. So I want to thank everyone for that. That's a huge deal, third year in a row. So I want to thank you guys as well. I'm going to be introducing Dragan here. And I don't know if you guys know Dragan. He did our event last year. And I want to see to introduce him. I want to give him a little bit of explanation of who he is. If you guys don't know, Dragan is a peak performance strategist for Tony Robbins' company. He advises and consults with executives, managers, and sales professionals in the areas of personal and professional achievement and sales mastery. He travels and speaks to over 350 companies, giving presentations and running training programs throughout North America. Dragan's greatest passion is to inspire other human beings to achieve their full potential dreams. He will share strategies from Tony Robbins to help us today, designed to create immediate and lasting results in our personal and professional lives, as well as opportunity to attend very special rare and live events with Tony Robbins. As you guys know, I'm a Tony Robbins fan. I don't follow that many people. We don't pitch, we don't do pitch fest, we don't sell things. That's how we do. Going to university. Okay, everyone came here. Essentially, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but inflation is happening. We do we want you guys to come. We want to get you excited and motivated out there. So, please join me in giving a big hand to our trainer, Dragan Trajkovski.
Hey, before we get started, can we give Bobby and the team a huge round of applause for getting us a kickoff today? If you don't see this guy, he's sweating up there. If we could give a shout out to Memo, he's sweating over there, putting all this hard work together today. So, here we go. He's glowing. He's glowing. Look at all the hard work, right? And I also acknowledge each and every single one of you for being here because you just gave up the most valuable commodity of your life, which is your time. And I don't take that lightly because the reality is this. We don't get our time back. And for me, when anytime I have an opportunity to speak to a group or anytime that anybody has any of my time, I expect them to deliver. And I'm expecting the same from you all to expect me to deliver. But in order for that to take place, I'm just going to ask for a couple things. One of those things is, can we have some fun today? Yes or no? Yes. Oh, that was pretty weak. I said, can we have some fun? Yes or no? Yes. Can we get some participation, yes or no? Yes. Like taking down some notes, shouting back some answers, because you know how this works. You get what you put in. And if you don't put in anything, you're not going to get anything out. So it's an honor, privilege, and pleasure to rock and roll. I like to go by Dragon Slayer. So that's right. What's taking place, kind of like what's taking place in the market economy, right? But I go by Dragon Slayer because when Tony Robbins calls you Dragon Slayer, you better for companies like ESPN, Salesforce.com, Win Hotels. This is my second time to work with Bobby and the team. I'm curious, who was here last time that I was here? Anybody was here? Okay, couple people. Fantastic, fantastic. So at the end of the day, my goal is to help us maximize the time that we have together today, but I'm just going to ask you to play full out. Now, before we really get started, I want to share with you just a little version of my story. I think it will go a little bit deeper. Has anybody ever heard of a small little town called Maryville, Indiana? Maryville, Indiana? My man, what's in Maryville, Indiana? Factories?
Cornfields shopping.
Cornfields shopping, right? Listen, there's not much in Maryville, Indiana. And the reason why I bring this up is because at 18 years old, when I was first exposed to this information, just like Bobby had shared, Tony Robbins made an impact in his life, but Tony Robbins completely changed my life at the age of 18. My parents immigrated from a small little country called Macedonia. They taught me a couple things. Work really hard, and I think if you take that principle, if you work hard in your business, I think you'll get those results. But they also taught me to treat people with respect. And I think if you do those two things, you can go pretty far in business and life. But I also do believe that education and intelligence and working smarter can take us a little bit further along with hard work. Did you all agree with that? Yes or no?
Yes.
Beautiful. So my parents could not give me that because they were immigrants from a small country with a middle school education. My first job was working at McDonald's. Second job was working as a grocery bag boy. And the third job was working at a small family-owned gym as an assistant. Now, when I got into sales and business, I had a mentor of mine. He was about 10 years older than I was. He said, if you're going to be in business, you must absolutely listen to Tony Robbins. Now, me being so young, dumb, and naive at 18 years old, I said, all right, I'll listen to this guy. Well, what happened was within 9 months, I got promoted 3 different times, and I was running and managing a multi-million-dollar business, running a sales force with no sales or business experience. The reason why I bring this up is because I made a decision to be here today. And what I mean by that is, I made a decision to go work for Tony Robbins at 18 years old. Now, could you imagine, maybe your dreams that you have currently right now, maybe it is to have an $18 million property listed. Maybe that's part of your dreams, which, by the way, there was a lack of celebration and acknowledgement for that, all right? I think that's a big deal. Let's give them a round. If you can understand this principle, what you appreciate appreciates. When you're grateful and you have gratitude, you're opening to receiving. So when we have someone within our team who has success, what does that do, or what should that do? It shouldn't create any jealousy or envy. It should actually say we should celebrate that because other people are doing it. And if other people are doing it, it gives us the opportunity to realize that it's possible for us too. But the reality comes back down to this. At 18, when I said I was going to go work for Tony, do you think that I knew somebody working for Tony Robbins at 18 out of Maryville, Indiana? Yes or no?
No.
Absolutely not. I didn't know anybody who lived in the state of California. But when you tell your friends, your family members, or individuals about your dreams, your visions, your goals, maybe they don't understand. Why are you in this business at times when you come back home and you're frustrated or you're overwhelmed, you're like, you're kind of debating, is this the career I want to be in? Is this what I want to do? It's not always rewarding until the rewards start to come. But I have to ask you, are you willing to overcome those challenges, those doubts, those fears, those insecurities that we all have? Because I can promise you this, if you can take a look into the future, you can deal with the difficult today if you have a compelling tomorrow. I'm going to say that again because I think this is extremely, extremely powerful. You can overcome any difficult day if you have a compelling tomorrow. We overestimate what we can do in a year, but we underestimate what we can do in a decade. At 18, I would have never thought I would be speaking on stage with Tony Robbins as Tony Robbins' keynote speaker from Maryville, Indiana. This guy is the most successful life and business strategist on the planet. Why me? Why? Because I made a decision. And I'm here to tell you today that is no matter what you want in your business and your life, which by the way, does anybody want to make some more money by show of hands and say yes? Anybody want to have a better body, more energy, more vitality? Then say yes. Anyone who want a deeper, more passionate, more juicy relationship? If so, then say yes. Well, guess what? I don't care what you want. Why do I say that? Because in business and life, we don't get what we want. You get what you're committed to. And right now, every aspect of your business and your life is a direct reflection of your commitments. If you want more, then you have to become more. If you want to become better, it starts by you becoming better. And I'm speaking with excitement and passion and a little bit of boldness because, listen, I didn't just come out the womb this way. No one's built with courage and confidence. It's a skill set that we develop. And can we agree right now that there's some uncertainty in the marketplace, yes or no? That was a weak no, or a weak yes. Can we agree there's some uncertainty, yes or no? Yes. Now, if you're uncertain and your clients are uncertain and we're paying attention to the external world, the news, the media, other people's opinions of what's taking place, and I'm not saying to be naive to this, but if you're hearing these terms of inflation and recession, and there are in different parts of the country, there's wars taking place, we see it. But if your uncertainty and your clients are uncertain, no one is going to move forward. Your certainty, your intention to serve your client, not to get a deal, not to get a commission, but your certainty that says, I want to do business with you because I don't want you as a client, I want you as a raving fan. That when the opportunity comes again, when you think about real estate, automatically you think about me. Why did Bobby and I automatically, as soon as we got connected, he's like, absolutely, Dragan, I want to have you come back. Because the first time I sucked, he gave me a second chance. I'm joking, I think we rocked it. But the reality is this, because when you over-deliver, when your motives are pure, yes, it's to create income, it's to support your family. But if you're just going out there just to get a deal, if you're going out there just to make money, your clients will feel that. If you think that if you're insecure and you're fearful and you're doubtful and your clients don't notice that, that's bullshit. Excuse my language, but that's the reality. Your clients know. You can tell how I'm feeling. I love this stuff. Why? Because I know it works. So I'm curious. How many of you know who Tony Robbins really is by a show of hands? Fantastic. How many of you don't know who Tony Robbins is? And who's thinking like, this guy is just loud and just beautiful and handsome? He just wants me to raise his hand, right? Thank you, right? So for those who don't know, really quickly, because I would be doing this man a disservice if I didn't properly edify him. This guy's been doing this work for the last 4 decades. And we're coaching people like Warren Buffett, Pitbull, Usher, Michael Jordan, Michael Phelps. How about the Golden State Warriors that just won the NBA championship? He was sitting behind Coach Kerr at Game 6. He's coached this guy named Tom Brady. Anybody hear of Tom Brady before? No. Yes, that's right. He is a quarterback, brother. Right? Who's a Tom Brady fan? Anybody a Tom Brady fan? Who's a Tom Brady hater? Right? Hey, listen, I know, I get it. It both ways. But listen, all these people that I mentioned, it's hard to argue that they're not some of the most successful people on the planet. So why would the people that are the most successful, who are already motivated, who have the same one factor that we all have, the same 24 hours in a day, take time to be coached by anyone, let alone the #1 success coach on the planet? One reason: results. And today is about getting results. It's about taking this action. It's about taking this information so you can take action to produce results. But I'm going to tell you, please take this and understand this. Information, which I know you're going to get some information today, information is illusion. We're surrounded by information. We have Google, we have YouTube, we have books, we have resources. I know Bobby is an advocate of training, making sure he has the tools, the strategies. There's plenty of scripting out there. And if your results is competition, so make this clear today that you maybe I'm screaming and shouting for no reason, which is fine. I enjoy it. Action, we're not going to be able to do that. But I'm going to ask you to make some decisions today. Are you willing to make some decisions today, yes or no? Yes. Are you willing to make this year one of your best years ever, yes or no? Yes. If you're committed to making this year your best year ever, then say BYE. BYE. What does BYE stand for? Best year ever! Let's go, right? That's right. You can clap it up. Give me a high five for that, right? Now, if we're committed to having our best year ever, I want to share with you a couple principles that when I'm personally coached by Tony Robbins, this is ingrained in my nervous system. Revolutionize your business, your life. The principle is this. Team. We're in a different the business seminar. We had thousands of businesses from all over the world in investing $10,000 to go 5 days to go deep in their business for one reason: to properly equip themselves with most importantly, the strategies, the tools, but the psychology for what's coming ahead. Because if you think it's difficult right now, I'm here to tell you, I hate to break it, it's probably going to get a little bit worse before it gets better. Tony's been around for the last 45 years doing this work. He's 61 years old, and he's been through different markets, different economies, and different recessions. He's got insights and tools when he's coached literally the best of the best. We just had Steve Wynn, the guy who pretty much developed and created all of Las Vegas, speaking to our clients. And he said, along with Tony, that the next 2 to 5 years, what you start to do today will ultimately dictate how you're either going to survive up and down. Maybe you see Tony, you see all these crazy people jumping up and down, screaming, hugging people, high-fiving people, walking on hot coals. Why do they do methodology? Is madness. Part of that methodology is to understand why these results in your business or life, you can have those results, but it starts by understanding the training never ends. We have to reinvent ourselves, especially in the time called winter. Because if we're beautiful South Florida, which I'm a Florida resident, I live here in beautiful Miami. I'm not just saying this because we're in Miami. I love Miami, it's the best place in the world. Can we get over Miami? Yes? Maybe you're not, but South Florida in general. We're heading to New York City. It's winter in New York. Summer clothes. What's going to happen to you? You're going to freeze to death. So it's time to re-equip ourselves with a new set of armor. And the armor that I'm asking you to put on is not so much a new set of clothes, but perhaps a new identity. Because at 18 years old, when I first listened to this guy, I'm a small town boy from Maryville, Indiana, have no idea these principles even exist, and it started to shift my identity. And if you look at the best of the best, they have an internal fortitude about themselves. They've all had to overcome adversity or challenges. Challenges show up in your business or your life. How do you show up? Because here's what will happen. This is so important. Under pressure and under stress, during adversity and challenges, you will always revert back down to your low. Reverse roles. And the home I'm going to sell you on is you get to pick between one of two different homes. They're both identical. They're both your dream homes. They're both in the ideal location you would ideally love to live. Your dream home. It's got all of your furniture in there. It's got beautiful art on the wall. It's got all of your amazing clothes inside of it. All of just your dream home. Now just picture that for a second. Does that look nice, yes or no? Yes. Do you like it? Yes. Fantastic. So one's on the right, one's on the left. Now we know here in beautiful South Florida, there tends to be some weather. There tends to be some hurricanes from time to time. Now let's just imagine a hurricane is taking place, and both of those homes are right there, but one is built on a strong foundation and one is built on a weak foundation. And the one that's built on a weak foundation is built on sand. It's got a very weak infrastructure. It's literally weak. What's going to happen when that hurricane passes by those two homes? They're right next to each other. What's going to happen to the one that's built on a weak foundation? It's going to what? It's going to blow over, it's going to topple over, it's going to collapse. This is what's going to happen to you and your business and your life if you're in a weak mental and emotional state because of the foundation. Please understand, you will always revert back down to your lowest level of training, and the home that I'm selling you on is the mental and emotional home that you currently live in. What does that mean? So when we do have this pressure or stress, how do we show up? Are we letting the external world dictate our internal world? Are we listening to the news, the media? Are we saying that the market is so challenging, it's so difficult, that in tough times, that it's harder to have success? Because I know that I actively respond. Because if you're waiting for the external world to dictate your internal world, I'm telling you here that you're living in reaction. And in fact, you actually lose your power. It's about helping you gain power. Access all of what you're capable of doing, becoming, and creating. Because we are creative beings. We are powerful human beings. When we access all we got, I imagine or understand you level. Remember, never was. The training never ends. But I didn't feel it very strongly from y'all. The training never what? It never stops. You have your ideal body. Somebody got excited about that one. Alright? When I'm ideal body, I'm talking about your overall energy, your overall vitality. I'm muscular, lady, all of you look beautiful, but maybe a little bit more comfortable. And I'm not saying you're not, but what I'm saying is this. If it took you 2 years, 5 years, 10 years to have an ideal figure, and maybe you're already there, then you're more than anybody, but what training days? Oh, we can see it in our body, but we don't see it's not science, but I know it's also mental and emotional roller coaster ride. So can we agree that we can take it to the next level in our mental and emotional state, yes or no? Yes. And if we were to take full control of what we can control, truly unlock and unleash all the power we have inside of us, then maybe while everybody else is saying, you know, this down market, this challenging time, because what's most important is you taking control of you. As much as I love sound, I hate it when it's beautiful and sunny and the rain comes out and ruins my hair. But I can't control it. I got a couple umbrellas in the car just in case, you know, I gotta keep this thing nice and shiny, right? But what I'm saying is this. There's very little things that you have control over. So what if we took full control of what we couldn't control? What if I were to be able to give you a recipe from the master chef, from the guy who's been doing it for a very, very long time? And this recipe is how to have success on your terms. Because I don't know what success looks like for you. Maybe success is to have multiple $18 million listings. Maybe success for you is to be the top agent in the office. Maybe success for you is to be able to make $250,000, take 3 weeks off vacation, have a loving, amazing, passionate relationship, have an ideal health and body, have an amazing connection to your creator of your understanding, and maybe that's what success looks like for you. But I know some people's definition of success is that just to barely get by and pay the bills. If that's you, that's okay. But I'm here to tell you, in order for things to shift and change, we have to change one thing. It's our mental and emotional state. And when we change our mental and emotional state, it's by making a new commitment. New commitment to raising the standard. Because right now, we're in separation season. Winter creates separation season. So if this is what success looks like for us, this is where we're currently at, and we want to close that gap and produce those goals, well, here's what happens. Our gap, we're going to close that gap, or that gap is going to separate. And what happens in separation season, those who commit and go all in, they're the ones that get closer to their dreams, their visions, and goals, because most people are waiting for things to get get better. And I'm here to tell you, not to scare you, not to frighten you, because I want to give you the road ahead. Because if you put in the work now, today, the next few days, the next few weeks, the next few months, you're going to be the one that's thriving while others are trying to barely get by and survive. Is this making sense? Y'all with me, yes or no? Yes. Fantastic. So if we really want to have that recipe, let's play a little game. So fitting that we're here in this beautiful restaurant. You know, we have all these amazing cooks back there that are preparing this meal for us, right? It's awesome. Why are they able to do it? Because they're following a recipe. Well, let's play a game, and the game was this. We want to make the best chocolate cake in the world. Do you think that we could all come up with a way to make the best chocolate cake in the world, yes or no? So how would we go about it if that was our goal, our outcome, collectively together? We said, hey, let's make the best chocolate cake in the world. What would you all suggest? What do you think the smart thing to do would be? To do what?
Google and get the recipe.
Google and get the recipe? Brainstorm? YouTube? Ask a chef? Right? And these are all great answers, but if you think about this, right? Yes, we can Google YouTube, we can ask the chef, but do you think it might be more intelligent to be able to go find the chef that has the recipe that has been voted upon for the best chocolate cake, that has traveled the world for 4 decades, ruining thousands and thousands of kitchens, traveling to different countries to find the best sugar, to find the best chocolate, to find all the best ingredients? Do you think that might be just a better strategy, yes or no? Well, I'm here to tell you this. If we have the recipe for the best chocolate cake in the world, we can all duplicate that recipe when we follow the instructions. But some people don't even follow instructions and are hoping to make the best chocolate cake in the world. So what I'm saying is this. Success is like a recipe. Your recipe may look a little bit different than the person next to you, but if you follow certain principles, I know you can obtain that success. I'm living, breathing proof. I'm not saying I'm successful. I'm successful in my lane. You don't just do this for 12 years just by telling people to just think positive. Tony Robbins doesn't have 105 different businesses. Yes, 105 different businesses, a professional sports franchise, and coaching the most successful people on the planet by just telling people to think positive. By working on your mental and emotional home. It's actually doing the work. Most people want the results, but they're not willing to do the work. I know you all are willing to do the work because at least you showed up here today, but I'm asking you to recommit. Because right now, again, in separation season, heading into winter, you're going to either regret, there's the pain of discipline, or the pain of regret. I'm asking you if you're willing to raise your standards and recommit, because this year could be the best year ever, while other people are finding reasons, excuses why the market is slowed down, why it's difficult to gain business, or you can say, while everybody else is uncommitted, I'm recommitting. Because remember, you get what you're committed to. So, I'm going to ask the same question that Tony's asked himself for the last 4+ decades. What determines your success? What determines an individual's success? When you look at anybody, whether they're a successful agent, whether a successful entrepreneur, a successful mother, father, an amazing individual in the community, how do we describe that person who has success? Let's just shout out, what are some of their characteristic traits that they possess? They're consistent, committed, determined, they're accountable, they take risks, right? Great personality, consistent, great character. And listen, you guys are fantastic because you guys just came up with some amazing answers. And all those answers are correct. But the one thing that's determining all of your success, my success, Tony Robbins' success, Tom Brady, whether you love him or hate him, his success is one word. Please don't forget this. Ingrain this in your nervous system. Get it in your body. That word is called your patterns. Your patterns is another name for habits, behaviors, rituals. The riches are in your rituals. How do you show up every single day in business? Business is a whole bunch of systems and processes combined together to solve problems for clients. But if we expect to not have problems in this business, that's called problems. Because we all have problems, but if we have systems and processes to help the problems that we're experiencing further, faster, to add more value to our clients, because ultimately, if they didn't have problems, they wouldn't need to do business with you. So when we're looking at this market or economy and shifting, it's like, how do I gain business? What's the strategy? Listen, again, strategies are amazing. They're very, very important. But at the end of the day, we have access to this stuff. Tony is a life and business strategist. His goal is to seek the best strategies. But when a problem shows up, how do you show up? What's your default mental and emotional home? Because at the end of the day, our patterns, our habits, is running us. Your autopilots are running you. How many of you put in the GPS in the location how to get here, and you're behind the wheel of your car, and you just arrived? How many go back home or to the office, and you're like, how did I get to the office? It's like you weren't aware, but you just got there. This is very, very scary because most people don't know that their autopilots are running everything they do. When 2 hours turns into 4 hours and 4 hours turns into 8 hours, the whole day goes by like that. That's because our autopilots are running us. We have the most important, most powerful technology. It's called our brain. But we are not given the operating manual on how to use our brain. Have you ever heard that we use 5 to 10% of our brain? Has anybody heard that phrase before? You want to know why? Because the 5 to 10% of the brain that you're using, it's called your conscious mind. Your conscious mind is very, very powerful for you to give it an instruction. But it's your subconscious mind that grows your fingernails. It's your subconscious mind that grows your hair. Well, for most of us. It's your subconscious mind that's operating 90% of what you do. But team, please take and understand this. If you don't know that you don't know, you don't know that you don't know. It's called unconscious incompetence. And if I could really share with you, just really get it in your body and your nervous system. The reason why Tony's been so successful when he does, because we don't get people to jump up and down for days. We do it strategically. There's a recipe, there's a blueprint. And when you follow that blueprint and you can reprogram your subconscious mind to work for you and not against you, that's your unfair competitive advantage. Do you think that when you get to a certain level, right? We're all professionals in this room, especially this little man. He's the most professional, blowing bubbles in his cough. I can identify with that one. I still remember it. Little Leo, right? I say he's the most professional blowing bubbles. That's right. He's doing professional blowers of bubbles, right? But when you get to a certain level in any area of business or life, or I use athletics because I think it's pretty amazing to see, when you see these people who are athletically gifted, but what have they been doing their whole life? They've been training, they've been doing the blocking, the tackling, how to hit the baseball, how to shoot the three-pointer, right? They've been training the blocking, the tackling, the strategies, the skills for a very long time. But when you get to the professionals, the difference, the separator, is not the skill set, it's the internal, mental, and emotional fortitude. So let's just pretend we're Tom Brady for a moment. And I know some of you guys love him, some of you guys hate him. But let's just say Tom Brady, or you're Tom Brady for a moment, and you're facing the Miami Dolphins. We're at Sun Life Stadium. It's Monday night football, and there's millions and millions of people watching you. It's the fourth quarter, your team is down by 6, and you have to drive down the field to take this little ball and cross it over a line, and you have to drive 82 yards. Now it's a TV timeout, so you have to think about this for a few moments. And do you think that you or Tom Brady would say, hey, you know what, over this next couple minutes, I have to really acknowledge that these individuals have been studying me for years, trying to find out exactly what I'm going to do in a given scenario, that on the other end, they've been studying me for the last couple of weeks, and on the other end, there's individuals that are paid hundreds and millions of dollars that have been trained in their whole life to do one thing: smash me! Do you think that's a little bit of pressure, yes or no? Little bit. Well, I'll tell you this. Tom Brady doesn't work with Tony Robbins, comes to Tony Robbins' house and trains some of our top clients that invest hundreds of thousands of dollars. Some are just regular agents. Like, they're not superstars, just very, very And if you don't take full control of what you can control, I'm telling you, the road ahead, it's going to be a little bit difficult. Is this making sense? Go with me, yes or no? Yes. Thank you. You know, I'm awesome. But team, here's what it comes back down to. It comes back down to understanding these autopilots, those chips and chips. So I'll give you an example. You guys probably can't see her, but she's using Stella. I don't know if you guys can see her. Is my goddaughter, and she's the cutest thing. I ask about her all the time. She started walking. She was gaining some momentum, and then she'd trip and she'd fall over. Now, we didn't say little Estella can't walk, but Mommy and Daddy and Godfather Dragon Slayer were just saying, she's just tripping over a shoelace. Because we're aware she's tripping over a shoelace, we didn't put a label on her or say that she can't walk. She's just tripping over a shoelace because she's unconsciously incompetent. Until we can point out to her, say, honey, baby, you can walk, you're just tripping over the shoelace. Now she goes from unconscious incompetence to conscious incompetence, which means she's aware that she doesn't have the skill set to tie her shoe. I know this is a silly question, but please, I have to know. Please raise your hand if you know how to tie your shoelaces. Please. I see a couple people not raise their hand. We'll do a seminar afterwards on how to tie your shoes, all right? But why does everybody know how to tie their shoe in this room? It's because we've done it over and 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 over, where we gain conscious competence, but now we have what's called unconscious competence. We've done it so much, we don't have to think about it. And I tell you this, team, when you can get to that stage of your business and your life in the most important areas, and I'm not saying that you need to change every area of your life. In fact, I'm not encouraging you to change anything. But if you know that there's something inside of you, there's another level. If you want to get here, you're currently here, you want to close that gap, I'm asking you to start doing some things, to start building some repetition, to reprogram the thing that's driving everything you're doing, your unconscious or your subconscious mind. How many of y'all in this room have a college degree by a show of hands? Beautiful, awesome. I have a college degree. Well, it doesn't matter whether you have one or not. I graduated from a small little university called Purdue University. I think it's cool, awesome, but regardless whether I have a degree or not, it doesn't matter if this message is resonating with you. You want to know something about Tony Robbins? He doesn't have a college degree, but he's got a PhD in results. Because at the end of the day, if you get results for the best of the best, then guess what? It doesn't matter your background if you can get those results for that individual. And I'm asking you the same thing. If you can get results for your clients today in today's market economy or in any market economy, they don't care your background. They want to make sure that they're being trusted with the expertise that you can give them the results they want. Now, the reason why I bring this up is because, has anybody heard of this small university called Stanford University? Anybody? Yeah, okay, great. So you know Stanford is like, they have no idea what they're talking about when it comes to education. Like, they're completely, delusional. Well, this delusional university, Stanford, actually has been studying Tony's material for the last 5 years. Pre-COVID, during COVID, and now post-COVID. The researchers and the scientists have proven that this methodology, these tools, these skills, high five. These tools, these skills have been more proven to give people more confidence, to overcome adversity and anxiety and depression than anything they've seen in 30 plus years. You've seen this, the Harvard study, when they say when you stand strong, like Superman or Superwoman, for 2 minutes, what happens to your testosterone? It increases. What happens to your cortisol? It decreases. You're more likely to take more bold action. You're more willing to be more risk adverse, or you're able to take more risk. Why? Because it's not airy-fairy positive thinking stuff. There's a recipe. Team, when I'm telling you this, the strongest muscle you have is your mental and emotional home. I'm not just screaming at you and telling you to get excited. I know this because it's in my freaking body. I see it every single day in what we do. But remember, you will always revert back down to your lowest level of training. The training never ends. The training never ends. So what would happen if you increase your current level of training? Well, what happens under pressure and under stress, you're going to fall back down to your default emotional home. But when you increase your training, what happens? You're still going to drop back down, but now you're going to have a new high-low. And then what happens when you start to train, you develop that muscle a little bit stronger, you start to build that foundation, that home that was toppled over by the hurricane or the mental and emotional storm that we're talking about because the market and the economy and many things have slowed down. You say, forget that storm, I am the storm. Bring on the storm because my feet are planted solid because I know that anything that's taking place in the external world, I can either react or I can respond effectively. And then what happens? We reinforce the training. Our training increases. And while everybody else is waiting during separation season for things to get easier, for things to be a little bit less gloomy or doomy, then we say, we recommit, we go all in on the things that we know that we gotta do. We gotta have more conversations. We gotta go out there and make more offers. We gotta be more present. We gotta work on the stuff that we can control. And then what happens? We realize why the training never ends is so important, so powerful. Is this making sense, yes or no, team? Let me feel some energy so to say yes. This is what's called unleash your power within. This is what your unfair competitive advantage is. Because in order for you to have your best year ever, you got to become the best you ever. Because if we could have, we would have already done so. And we can't just talk about these things, we got to do the work. You can't think about doing the push-ups, you got to do the push-ups. We can't think about going on that run or that walk, we got to go on that run or that walk. We can't imagine ourselves in yoga class doing down dog, we got to go to yoga class and do down dog, right? You got to do the work. And I'm here to tell you right now, this could be the greatest period of time of your life while other people are finding excuses and reasons to not do the work. But it requires you to have a new commitment. Okay? Really quickly, 3 pillars to having massive success in your business, your life. Okay? These are not coming from me, these are coming from Tony Robbins. They're simple, tried and true. Right? Tony likes to say, and not because just Tony says it, doesn't mean it's true. It's just he's been around working with millions and millions of people from hundreds of different countries. You have to be an idiot to not realize there's simple strategies that when you apply in your business or life, you're able to have success as well too. The first pillar is called your strategies, okay? Your strategies. What's your strategy? Your game plan. It's your business plan. It's your plan of action. How many of you, with absolute confidence and certainty, can clearly articulate what your business plan is? What your life goals are? What it looks like in your relationship? What you accept, what you don't accept? What's your vacation? What is your plans into the future? Because if you don't have a compelling future, I'm here to tell you, a difficult today, a difficult tomorrow, you're not going to see the future. Bless you. That's a perfect time to be blessed, right? When we're talking about a compelling future, right? That's right. Bless your compelling future. Bless all of us in our compelling future. But I ask you, what is your strategy? Because you've heard the saying, if you fail to plan, you're planning to fail. And listen, as important as strategies are, they're only 10% of success in your business. At 18 years old, when I said I'm going to go work for Tony Robbins, what do you think my strategy was? To go find the book on how to get a job working for Tony Robbins? There was no book. I'll tell you this, when you have a strong enough reason why you want something, why you must burn the boats, why you're committed to going out there, when you make a strong enough commitment and you have a strong enough reason why, you'll find the how-to. So what is your why? Is it just to get a deal? Is it just to get a commission? Again, totally fine. But I'll tell you this, based on how you see yourself in this business, consciously or unconsciously, is this a hobby? Is this a job? Is this your career? Or is this your mission? Because I will tell you this, a person who's in real estate because it's a hobby, it's nice, to have a license to possibly get a deal, versus someone who it's their mission to go above and beyond, you're going to get demolished. This is my mission. This is why I'm so passionate about this. Because I know that people in this room, I know Bobby's completely changed by taking these principles, doing the work, and going through this stuff. My mission is to continue to raise the awarenessness of any human being that I have the ability to impact, to get them from unconscious incompetence to conscious competence to unconscious competence, to raise the vibration, to raise their frequency, because I know there might be a day that you have the worst day of your life. You're expecting to have the best day of your life, all your deals fall through, something happens at the office, something happens in your personal life, and it's the worst day of your life. And you're like, I wouldn't want to wish this on my worst enemy, but you're experiencing it. And not only do you realize that, but you go home to your significant other, your child, a friend, someone, and you didn't realize, but they had the worst day of their life, and they do something like leave the toilet seat up, or they didn't put they left the closet door open, and you in that moment right there, you can do one of two things. You can blow up. You can completely just say, what did you do? Why did you do that? Not knowing that they just maybe had the worst day of their life, and in that moment, what happens? A relationship ends because that one moment, because the inability to take full control of what we can control. Versus saying, let's have maybe an uncomfortable conversation to provide some solutions, versus just be comfortable in our own level of lowest understanding. Because in that moment, what if we were to say, I didn't realize they had their worst day of their life, but because I was able to shift my mental and emotional home, and instead of reacting, I took full control of what I can control, stepped in my power, and then that relationship completely turns, and then maybe that's the defining moment of the relationship. Or in a child's future. Because you don't know what's going on in somebody else's life, but by you being able to show up the strongest, best version of yourself, to access all your resources, to be resourceful, the mental and emotional state, that's your ultimate resource. But I'm here to tell you, where do we get this information in school? What class, what course, in elementary school, middle school, high school, college, did we get this information? This is why this is my mission. Because we're living in a world that's not the best at the moment. But if you get better, you may not be able to change the whole world, but you might be able to change one person's world. And if each and every single one of us can change one person's world at a time, we can eventually start to change the world. Because we need leaders today. And leaders don't see all the stuff that's taking place and say, oh, it's horrible, it's challenging, it's difficult, I'm never going to make money. No, leaders say, listen, let's look at the truth. And the truth is, it may not be an ideal scenario, but let's not make it worse than what it is. Let's not get in this story of limitation. Let's not live in this realm of limitation, but let's step in the realm of possibility. What's possible? What's great about this situation? What's great about the scenario? It allows me to re-equip myself to develop some mental and emotional strength to be that leader when other agents are out there finding reasons as excuses to not make phone calls, to not have conversations because they're in their own head. Well, what if I step out of my own head and get in my heart? And say, maybe that's right, that feeling right there, and that's why people are going to do business with you, because they feel that. I sense that. They can sense it across the room, and your intention when it's so pure to go out there, not just to get a deal, that's why people want to do business with you. It's not the strategy. Give me the objection handling. Give me the perfect script. Yes, you should know those things. But if you're not able to put yourself in the most resourceful state, having the best scripting, having the most ideal clients, you're still going to be able to have these internal conflicts. You got to identify those internal conflicts, and you got to realign them. But how do we realign this stuff? Can we take that amazing computer and just say, you know what, just like we can update that computer or update our cell phone, can we just go to the Apple Store and say, hey, get rid of this fear program and install courage? Because our belief system is operating everything we're doing. Even if we have the right strategies. What's your why? Why are you doing what you're doing? Second pillar is taking action. Why is taking action so important? Because most people are not willing to take the action. So I'm asking you right now, like if you were to have, Bobby said it earlier, accountability, if you were to be accountable to yourself, how many calls are you making? How many conversations are you having? How many contacts are you making? What are you doing to brand yourself, to market yourself, to add value? To add value to your sphere, to be a pillar of strength, of hope, of courage, To be a person of adding value back, what actions are you taking? Not just say, hey, here's a market update. Great, some people want market updates. But also have sensory acuity. The ability to be acute to different people's senses. That's why I felt your energy across the room. Because when you can understand and get into other people's model of the world, people know that you're not just taking action just to get a deal. They actually know that you care, that your motives are pure. Yes, you should be compensated for the work that you put in. I'm not asking you to go work for charity, right? You got to take care of yourself, of course. And if you are that individual that works and you donate all your commissions to the nonprofits or charity, God bless your soul, right? I don't think that that's everybody in this room, but if you are, congratulations. But I'm here to tell you, your motive does matter. So strategies, actions, but the most important pillar, those first two that I just shared with you, they're only 20% of success in your business. The third pillar we've been talking about this whole time, but I kind of did it in a different way. The M, the 80%, is your mental and emotional home. How strong is your foundation during winter? And winter has not even begun. It's just transitioning from fall, when the market was so hot, it was so amazing. We were reaping all the harvest because it was awesome. It was amazing. But after fall comes what? Winter. It's just beginning to start. You need to re-equip yourself. Your unfair competitive advantage is to be able to put yourself in the right mental and emotional state to take the action, to have that game plan, to make $200,000, $500,000, $150,000. The strategies are out there, team, but you have to develop the mental and emotional strength. Are you all with me? Is this making sense, yes or no? Yes. This is what Unleash Your Power Within is all about. And it's not just getting excited, pumped up, or rah-rah. It's a muscle inside of you that has been proven by Stanford University, proven by the most successful people on the planet, because they wouldn't work with this guy if they didn't get results. But remember, information without execution is called delusion. Information without doing the work is not going to get you the results that you're after. So I'm asking you right now, are you willing to recommit? Are you willing to step into a new version of yourself, to raise the standard, to close that gap, to have our BYE, our best year ever? If so, then let me feel this, say yes. Yes. Well, then what could mess it up? Yourself. What else could mess it up? What?
Going back to
Lack of execution would mess it up.
going back to the sense of less training.
Yeah,
Going back to the less training instead of going forward, is going back.
Beautiful, right? Instead of raising the standard, instead of continuing to train, going back and reverting back to your lowest level of training, not continue your training. Ultimately, you know what will mess us up? Is the story. The story that we tell ourselves. Because the reality is this, we're always going to experience problems. We're going to experience challenges. But the biggest those fears, those doubts, those insecurities. But I'm here to tell you, those could be your superpowers. What's up, Leo?
Excuses.
Yes, excuses, my man. Let's get our Leo. That's right. 100%, brother. Right? Even the little man knows. Actually, you're a big man, right? They're called BS. Your body system. You thought I was going to yes. It is the BS, then your belief system will be full of BS. Team, please take and understand this. You, as an individual, will never, ever, ever be able to out-earn, out-sell, or outperform your current belief system. If that computer is the most effective computer, it can do more things than any other computer can do, running on Windows 1998, it's not. Why? Soon as they created until 2011. So if you're trying to install new habits, new patterns, and you're outdated operating system, I have to break it to you, you will never be able to install the proper systems and processes in your update your operating system. You'll never be able to earn, outsell, outperform your current belief system, your current identity. Those are all limited. My name is Dragan. I went by David because they couldn't speak the language. They didn't have the right. They would make fun of themselves, and they would make fun of them because the words and how they would say it. Every year from said, please don't call me Dragan on the roster. Call me David. And you know how things are. If you got they make fun of you. I go back a little David. The tools, the information, these processes to step into a brand new identity, to stand strong into a new foundation, because the training never ends. Team, I'm here to tell you that we all have a little David inside of us. We all have a little version inside of us that when you let that person run the show, it will dictate your results. Because what happened in 2000? What happened during all those periods of times? Were there individuals that had certain any money, yes or no? And were there plenty of people making a lot of money, yes or no? How about right now? Are there plenty of people not making any money, yes or no? And are there people making a lot of money, yes or no? You will never, ever, ever out-earn, outsell, or outperform your current belief system. Until you could identify those, destroy them, and replace them, they will hold you back. You need to update them with empowering beliefs and update your operating system. Because that's the most optimal technology that we have capable of, and no one can change it for you. Tony Robbins isn't going to change it for you. But if you follow a system of process, chocolate cake in the world, you like nuts on top, or you like strawberries or cherries, then you can change it just a little bit. But there's a process to no matter what it looks like for your business. Today's not making chocolate cakes though, yes? Yes. So here's what I'm asking you. Let's really take a look at some of those things that have held you back. Some of those fears, some of those doubts, some of those insecurities. Did they show up last night, last week, last month, last year? Or can we agree that some of them have been there for some time? You know, the study they've done at Stanford, they proved that we learn 50% of who we are by the age of 5. Which is why I have Estella as my background. Anytime I get a chance to talk to her father, my brother, or my sister-in-law, her mother, I'm always asking, how can we help her out? How can we reprogram her subconscious mind? I'm curious, how many of you here have children? By a show of hands. Keep your hands up really quick, please. How many of you would you do anything for your kids? By a show of hands. Keep your hands up. How many of you are willing to do anything for yourself so you can do anything for your kids? Keep your hands up. So I'm asking you right now, what's the story that you need to destroy and annihilate? Because if we're living in any realm of limitation, it's not impacting us, it's impacting the most important people that we care about. So what does that stuff cost you? Has some of that limiting belief system cost you at least one deal this year? More than one deal? Does it cause stress? Does it cause anxiety? Because when you're in the business, you're thinking about the family, or when you're with your family, you're thinking about the business. How much commission does it cost you in this last year? How long have you been in the business? You know that's cost all of us in this room collectively millions of dollars out in the marketplace for somebody else to take advantage of. Who's excited about that? Say yes. No, you should say no. What are you doing? Did we just waste this whole time? Oh my God, I'm done. See, this is what happens when we don't take full control and we're reacting, right? So here's what I'm asking you. You guys have heard the term ROI, yes? What does it stand for? You've heard of return on investment. In order for you to get a return, you must invest something: time, effort, energy, resources. But how many of you have heard of COI? COI stands for this. It's the cost of inaction. What's the cost of inaction for not changing or updating the operating system that's been holding you back from anything less than what you're capable of doing, having, and creating? Because right now, if you don't change it, you're choosing to keep it. And heading into winter, it's going to get worse before it gets better. If you hold that old stuff back and expect to step into a brand new reality, I'm here to tell you, it's not going to change. It's like Albert Einstein says, doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting a result is called insanity. Team, it's completely insane to not take a look at what's taking place, knowing you have to make this new decision right here, right now, to step in that best version of yourself, to unlock and unleash the power that you have within inside of you. If you're committed to stepping in a brand new version of yourself, let me feel some energy to say yes. Yes. No, if you're committed to making this year your best year ever, to say yes. Yes. And we're going to do this quick little exercise before we get our food, because I know you're thinking, it's like, I want some food, but I want some more of what Dragan's got. What's he eating, right? So we're going to do this little exercise called how to manage your mental and emotional state. So what we're going to do, I'm going to have everybody stand up. Let me get 2 or 3 volunteers. Please come up to the front, help me out. Awesome, yes. Let me get 1 or 2 more. Yes, 1 more. That's it? Yes, come on. Yeah, Leo, come on. Come on, let's go. All right. So you guys have the most important job. Just watch and observe everybody, okay? Can you guys do that? So everybody else, here's what we're going to do. Let's just pretend it is our best year ever. That we made some new decisions here today to recommit, to increase our current level of training, to step in the best version of ourselves. And I want you to take your left hand out, and in your left hand, I want you to picture what that looks like 1 year from today. Or maybe December 31st, 2022, you're going into the new year and you're like, damn, I can't believe I made these changes. And make it real, make it vivid, make it bright. And now I'm going to ask you a question. But when I ask you this question, let's take your right hand back. I'm going to ask you this question, and you're going to just simply say yes, like that, and grab it like it's real. But if you don't grab it, it's going to float away and somebody else is going to take it, all right? So team, take a look at it. Are we going to make this year our best year ever? Yes! Awesome, fantastic. Now, stay standing for a moment. Judges, this is the most important question. On a scale from 1 to 10, 10 is like shaking this energy where this whole center is like, what are they doing in there? And level 1 is like, comatose dead, all right? What level was that clap?
From 1 to 10.
5? 5?
6.
6?
Yeah,
6. All right, so we have 2 6s and 2 5s, so we'll call 5.5. Team, was that a 10, yes or no? No! So if we could, do you believe you could have played it at 10, yes or no?
Yes.
So if we could have played a 10, but instead we played a 5.5, well, what got in the way? The BS. This game's not real. What happens if I said, yes! And I stand up, people look at me like I'm crazy. Oh, my friend, see what happens? What happens if I say yes so hard I break my bracelet? Team, the same stuff that holds you back in this game is the same stuff that holds you out in the game that matters most, life. And if we let the external world, other people's opinions, if we let our own limitations dictate our reality, we will be at the effect, not at cause. I'm asking you to step into a brand new version of yourself today by making some new decisions. I also believe in second chances, which is why Bobby gave me a second chance to come back. Alright? But we're going to... we can clap here in a second. We can clap, thank you. The last chance, right? But this time, we're going to do this again, but I'm going to do it slightly differently. I'm going to ask you 3 questions. How many questions? 3. The first question you're going to say yes. Second question you're going to say yes. And the third question you're going to say yes, 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 wow, yes. I see some of you like, wow, no. But listen, only the most self-confident type of group can pull this off. I believe we have this group here. Do we have this group here, yes or no? Yes. stand strong like Superman. We're going to stand strong like Superwoman. But we're going to take a big, deep breath in. Take one more big, deep breath in. And if it feels comfortable, just close your eyes for a moment. Step into a brand new version of yourself. No more little Davids or little Danielles or the little versions of ourselves. Step in this brand new version where you're slaying that version. You appreciate it, you acknowledge it because it got you to this moment. But in this moment, right here, right now, you are making a new decision, a new commitment to retrain. Because the training never ends. You made some new decisions to update your operating system, to annihilate any old programming, and you are now standing as the best version of yourself. Feel that solid foundation. Feel the foundation that you built, the mental and emotional strength. Now I want you to take a look at what does your life really look like. Imagine your clients, what are they saying to you? Wow, I can't believe you just went above and beyond. You're so much greater than what I even expected. I want you to imagine some of those commission checks come in. I want you to imagine, are you moving into a new home? Are you driving a new car? How do your relationships feel? What do you hear from them? Thank you, Mom. Thank you, Dad. Maybe it's your partner. They're saying, wow, I can't believe who you've become. But most importantly, you're going to look at this person. They're staring back at you. They're calling right now. They're saying, wow, you're so amazing. And you pick up the phone while you're looking at that person, and that person you're looking at is you in the mirror a year from today. How proud are you of this version of yourself? How does that feel? And I'm curious, do you like this version of yourself? If so, then let me fuel with some energy. Then just say yes.
Yes.
If you're committed to stepping in this version, then say yes.
Yes.
Then do me a favor, take another big deep breath in. And if your eyes are closed, go ahead and open them. And I want you to take your left hand out. Look at that reality. Look at that version of yourself. Take your right hand back. Team, are we going to make this year the best year ever?
Yes.
Are you committed?
Yes.
Are you going to step up?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Give yourself a round of applause. If you just saw a more compelling version of yourself just now, know that that person can deal with any difficult tomorrow. But know that information without execution is called delusion. Know that without making the right decisions over and over and over, willing to step up and put in the work, that version will not exist. Team, I'm asking you if you're willing to unlock and unleash all the power that you have within inside of you, because that's the best version of yourself, and it's so close. You just have to make some new decisions. Give yourselves a huge round of applause. Good job, good job, good job. So team, I know we're gonna come out to food. This was powerful, yes or no? Yes. Well, here's what I'm gonna tell you. I'm not Tony Robbins and I haven't been doing this for 4 decades. Now, one thing I'll share with you, we have our program, it's called Unleash the Power Within, November 3rd through the 6th. It's in West Palm Beach. This is not anything other than, listen, if you want to make it happen, I'm here to tell you, you probably have today or the next day or two to actually go to this program because we're already almost sold out. Tony's only back here for this year in West Palm Beach. The next time he'll be back in 2026. Tony's only doing 1 live event per year. Again, if you got something from me here today, this event is nothing like what we experienced. This is just a little taste of that best chocolate cake in the world. You just got a little nibble. If you want the whole cake, November 3rd through the 6th. Now, since the food hasn't come out yet, would you guys like to learn a little bit about this event really quickly, yes or no?
Yes.
Fantastic. The very first day is called Turning Fear into Power. Do you guys believe I have a little bit of confidence and certainty, yes or no?
Yes.
You better believe it. Confidence and certainty is not something that you just are born with, it's something you develop. So what happens when fear shows up in your life? You can do one of 2 things. You can let fear use you, or you can take that fear and turn it into power. The whole first day, you're going to do this for 12 hours with Tony. We're going to put you in front of 12 feet of burning hot coal right in front of you. And just like when that story says, I'm not enough, the market's too difficult, it's too challenging, you're going to look at your fears, you're going to ba-boom, 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 storm across and create this certainty inside of you so you have access to it. Would this be very valuable to you and your business, yes or no?
Yes.
The second day is all about influence. Influence is everything, especially in real estate. If you're not taking action, never expect your clients to take action. If you're not believing in yourself, your clients will not believe in you. The second day is all about understanding influence and how to close that gap to create your goals and your What do you think happens on the transformation day? You change. Identifying that old limiting belief system, those autopilots that are running everything we do. You can't go to the belief store and change that stuff, you have to rewire it. That third day will be up there with your children being born and your marriage day. It's not me saying it because I haven't had either, but our clients say that, alright? So I don't care what you're doing that day. If you're getting married, have Tony be part of your bridal party. It's that important, alright? And the last day is all about health and energy. Tony is 61 years old. He's got a brand new 1-year-old. He coaches the most successful people on the planet. He runs and operates 105 different businesses. He's going to give you the strategies from the best health experts that he has access to. Now, let me ask you this. Is health and energy important, yes or no?
Yes.
A man or a woman who has their health has 1,000 wishes. A man or a woman who doesn't have their health has 1 wish. I get down every single day on my knees. I thank God, infinite intelligence, source wisdom, to allow me to be a channel, to use me to your fullest extent. Because I know if I have $10 million in the bank account and I'm not able to wake up tomorrow, that money is worthless to me. Your health, your energy, your vitality, we didn't even talk about it today. This event, this program, will change every aspect of your business, your life, and more importantly, your health and your energy. Team. For those making the decision, this will be the best decision of your life. So I have some of those forms. You have some special discounted rates. I'm curious, who's thinking about doing something like this by a show of hands? Fantastic. Team, I'll stick around, answer any questions. While the food's coming out, is there anything you want to share? And by the way, let's give Bobby a huge freaking round of applause.
I gotta say that I've been there a couple of times, actually about 3 or 4 times. I think it's on the third day, there's a session they have about what's called
Dickens process.
The Dickens process. If anything, this is worth just the Dickens process. It's an amazing experience. I can't even begin to explain what it is or what you go through or transformation, but this is if you go, just make sure you don't miss the big process. It's amazing. They make all the kids go out of the room and it's just, a serious, very effective transformation. So if you go, definitely go, don't miss the big process. I have to say, it's a very amazing experience, and I do these once a year. We tend to, no matter how much, things are put into your ear, motivations and things like that. And as a matter of fact, I heard somebody say this is very true, that if you need to be motivated, you shouldn't even be doing it in the first place, And that means a lot. You have to have it from within. And even though motivation helps, it's very helpful to always have these resources like from Robbins, right? To always help give you what is missing in your life so that you can continue on pushing forward and succeed. Because like you said, your definition of success is different. Everyone's definition of success is different. But yes, definitely don't miss it.
Bobby, thank you so much. I know that, absolutely. Yeah, guys, you can deliver the food. I don't know if you guys are waiting or whatever, or if you guys are waiting on anything else. But listen, I have some of those forums. This is not something like, hey, you got to do it now or never, but I'm kind of telling you it's like kind of now or never because Tony's at an event right now with 5,000 people. We only have a few hundred seats left. And Bobby knows this because we did this last time. We got a couple